I promised that I would do it in 10 minutes today. We had a beautiful time, and
I promised
that I would
yesterday.
do it in 10 minutes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm John Miglosh for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. Well, as I was saying, I promised that I would do. We had a great meetup yesterday, and we're going to talk about that a little more. Even David Rosendahl showed up. Well, kind of showed up. He kept his camera off, so I'm not sure it was him. It might have been one of his assistants. You can't really tell because he didn't say anything. But he says he was there, and I believe him, right? Because he's a marketing guy. Okay, and so we had a great time, and you really missed it. Just after we reminded everybody, international law took our website down, hosted by Pear, saying that we had malware that they just discovered, and as soon as they discover it, they can shut us down without notice. Wonderful. I'm looking for a new web hosting site. But, you know, every day's got challenges. So, look, I can flick it on and off now. I learned to do that. How do you like that? Anyway, so I promised everybody we had a discussion about what to improve on the show, and everybody said, keep it to 10 minutes. So I'm going to talk really fast, and I'm going to keep it to 10 minutes. So Royal Mail came out with a pitch to charities. Apparently, volunteering levels hit a recent high in the UK, but a lot of people don't know how to find involvement with their charities. So Royal Mail designed a showcase that talks about mail. I was hoping for more in that article. Our virtual events virtually over by Dan Keem George. So there's lots of things in here. Basically, it says that Google Trends for virtual events search interest has fallen off the cliff, although that one's dotted, so I don't know if it has or not. But in that same light, we had a great time yesterday, and Printing United, cancels the 2021 in-person expo. They asked me for my opinion and then told me that everybody was going to wear masks, and I said, then I'm not coming because, you know, I can't get an N95 to fit right, and anything else is just for show, and I didn't want to do a mask just for show. Robinhood investor call asked the big question, when can we get branded merchandise? So soon you will see investors in Robinhood, you know, somewhat dubious company, Robinhood, lets you trade stocks, except that they shut it down if the big investment firms want them to not let you trade something like GameStop. But anyway, so they're going to probably put out, you know, cool hats and maybe bows and arrows or something like that. I put this in because we sometimes forget about what a great print vehicle imprinted merchandise is, and you can't forget it. I keep writing to this company. I'm going to talk about a case study, but the main story for today is that Paula Ciocci, I don't know if I'm saying that quite right, but anyway, she wrote me back. She said that yes, if someone clicks an email, just clicks the title, the subject line in their email app, that will count as an open. And so I watched, you know, I'm copied on email from the WDMA. We sent one out yesterday afternoon, and so I clicked it a few times on all the ones that I got back on other email addresses, and we had a 16% open rate. Yay! I watched it go from 3 or 4 to 8 to 12 to 16, just by my own clicking. We didn't send very many out. But if you want to get information on WDMA, one place would be to join the WDMA group on LinkedIn. I'd send you to WDMA.org for these articles and such, but it's down right now. So because of international law, whatever that means, I don't know. So I said to Paula, you know, what about a case study? She said, I have a case study. So we talked about Paula yesterday in her email versus DMail. Now, one of the things that did not include was any kind of, I would say, any kind of legitimate results were included in that article. There were percentages and things mentioned, but what Paula thinks of as ROI and what I think of as ROI are miles apart, I have to say. And I was really appreciated Paula writing me back and explaining what open rate is, which means that it's essentially like somebody opening an envelope. Doesn't mean they read it. Doesn't mean maybe they were looking for a check. It doesn't mean they engaged more than I do with those emails. Those emails, that means I didn't read a word of it. I may not have even acknowledged the subject line. I wonder, here's another question for you, Paula. I wonder if I on Thunderbird, there's an option that says mark all as read. Does that count as an open? When the software just calls them all read? On Gmail, you can select all unread. Yeah, you put unread. Does that mean that when I select all those, and you can select thousands of them if you want, and click the red button, does that mean that those are all opened? I don't know. Could be. I wouldn't be surprised. Which means you're just kidding yourself with these stats. Okay? But what I mean on ROI, so we did a case study for Lovesac. They got a new VP of marketing from Mountain Dew. Very, very smart young man. And he said to me, John, why would we take the time and expense to mail a catalog to people who already know what we sell? They've already bought from us. He said, why wouldn't we spend that money on acquisition or branding, since people don't know what we do? Most people, once they find out what we do, they're interested. We get the same kind of close rate as Williams-Sonoma on their furniture. I said, Patrick, that's an excellent question. That's one of the best questions I've ever been asked. We can tell you the answer. He said, you can? I said, yeah, we can tell you exactly the answer. He said, how do you do it? I said, what we do is we take that mailing of, more than 100,000, we'll just say, we're not going to say how many they mail, and we selectively eliminate maybe 10% of it. Okay, so 10,000-ish or above. I did this for Musician's Friend over and over and over and over every year for 6 years to prove to their investors it was worth mailing to customers. I've done it for many other clients. So we selectively eliminated them. And then we looked at how much the customers who were mailed spent in the next 2 months versus the customers who were not mailed in the next 2 months. And we could do that because, some merchants track by credit card. I mean, it's very, very easy. And he said, good, let's do that. And so we then took out the cost of goods. We took out the cost of mailing that extra catalog to the people that got mailed, and we reduced the cost to the ones who weren't mailed. But they still kept their social media going. They kept their website, which is beautiful. They kept their mass media ads. All that stuff stayed in place. The only thing that changed was some we mailed, some we didn't. And what happened? What happened was so we took out the cost of the mailing. We didn't count that for the ones we didn't mail. We did for the ones we did. Then we took out the cost of goods. Then we took out a cost of order processing, which we'd figured out from averages across the year. And we ended up with that dollar that was spent, including the modeling to build all this. Including that, we ended up with a 300% return on investment. Okay, so for every dollar you spent on that catalog, the $1 or so, it was less than that, but let's just say, we got $3 back of net profit, EBITDA. Something a chief financial officer would like. That is a case study of ROI. And we found out that the neighbors were buying, and so when we included that was 900%. So for every dollar we put in, we got $9 of profit out. Now, this is a great case study, and again, it'll be available. If you write to me, we'll give you the whole details. Basically, the revenue grew like crazy, and the bottom line was she got a good list for small business and emailed it, and it worked. But what we don't know is how much of that business was because of other causes, because we don't, as far as I can tell, have a holdout test. So the distance between yes, results went up, and which is what all advertising does. And what we do is direct marketing. Direct marketing takes us to EBITDA and takes us to isolating the causal variables, which you can only really do in mail. Because with open rates, as I said, you can't tell I engaged at all. And because you can't tell I engaged at all, you don't know who engaged and didn't buy. I'm John Miglosh. Have a great day. Like and share. Your friends will know you're smart. Bye-bye. I got to wait till this thing goes out. Then I